Pete's Sales and Service is celebrating 50 years of business here in the Valley. I spent an afternoon with Todd Doran, second generation owner of the family business, as we took a look back from the humble beginnings, current state of the business, and reminisced about the good old days.
Well, I remember we used to go outside when it was, well, back in those days it used to get really cold in the wintertime, and you sounded like a bag of chips when you moved. That's pretty cool. Standing here today at the original location, this is where it all began. Fortunate enough to have this lovely motoski for today's shoot, and yeah, this is obviously it's grown up quite a bit over the years, but this is where my dad started it in 1975, and a lot of good memories from being here, well, all through my childhood actually. How could you not? You were around toys every day, so you know, it was a lot of fun. I used to catch the bus and get off the bus right here and then hang out with him until he was closing up shop to go home. So he always had a love for motors basically, but he was mostly into the marine stuff. So he really liked outboards and boats and whatnot. And he started at a company that was in Pembroke. For the life of me, I can't remember where it was. I have an old picture of him there, but the company was called Bright Accessories, and he was an apprentice mechanic there, working on outboards and all boats that they sold back then, I guess, in the day. And they sold a few snowmobiles. They sold some old stuff like snow prints, and I think they sold some snow cruisers. Then from there he decided that he would try going on his own, and he started in a little tiny shed that used to be up on top of this hill. Worked out of that for a couple of years, then he built this. From then on he started to get into, well, motoski was the first line that he had, along with Mercury and Suzuki motorcycles. So that was the three lines that he had on in '75. People are going to say, "You what, wearing no helmet?"
Today, Pete's Sales and Service is located on Ottawa Boulevard. They specialize in BRP, Skidoo, Can-Am, Sea-Doo, Honda, and Beta motorcycles. Over the years, they've added multiple additions to their facility and picked up numerous employees as they've grown along the way.
Hi, Lauren. It's Brad calling.
So we're at the location now that we're currently at, 2107 Ottawa Boulevard. I got with me Bryce, my son, and a longtime co-worker, been with the business
Since '93, for 15 years, and then back again after 15 years, I guess, back again working. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Brad Oldbury. From what I remember, it was around like 1981 when they moved locations. There was originally a house on this property, but it was an abandoned house, like the person had passed on and the family was selling off the land. When they moved from the Biesenthal Road location to here, he still had the moto ski snowmobiles, Suzuki motorcycles, Mercury outboards, and a few lines of like just aluminum boats and trailers, obviously. And then once getting here, things started to get bigger. Needed more space because we were getting into more lines. Later on in the years, got into Honda, motorcycles, ATVs, and power products. And we also had the Kawasaki line. And then we acquired the Harley-Davidson motorcycles. Kind of made the business more focused to the Harley side of it because the company was really pushing sales at that point. We made a really good business with a really good Harley clientele at that time. And then we've had multiple boat lines like Doral, Legend, Skeeter Bass boats, Miracraft,
yeah.
Lund fishing boats.
Pete was really into the marine side of it. Pete liked the marine stuff. He liked the outboards, the boats, stuff like that, setting up boats. Todd was more into the dirt bikes.
Bikes in general.
Yeah, bikes in general. Yeah.
It had two wheels, that sparked my fancy.
Sparked your interest, yeah.
So you're asking what part is the original store. This would have been the front wall, actually, outside wall, picture window and an entrance door, and then running all the way back. So you would have had showroom space, counter with parts department, and then workshop, and actually floor drain right around here somewhere, because when you stand here it's like you're in a tunnel. So there's an old floor drain that's cemented in, and the garage door used to be right there. Back door of the shop was there. The first expansion was the upstairs, and there's a little basement off of there, and that was for offices. And then went on the new showroom, and years later then came the back workshop. Well, that was the racing days. But there used to be like lots of bikes come out to rides and stuff like that, filled the parking lot pretty much. I was coming out on the Biesenthal Road, obviously after they moved the building. I was fortunate enough the day that they moved it, I was in school at Pineview, and there was a fun day happening, and I knew it was coming at some time, but I didn't know at what time. And so I went running out to the fence to watch, and I remember the teacher coming and trying to pull me back into the yard, like, come on, you gotta, partake in the fun day. And I'm like, no, my dad's garage is coming. And she thought I was crazy. And then all of a sudden we seen the transport truck with the building on it, and she stood there and she's just like, he wasn't lying, And yeah, it was something to see going down the road, because at that time this wasn't just Petawawa Boulevard, it was actually Highway 17. So they had to stop traffic and everything to bring it down, because as you see in the pictures here, this is the highway. This is coming out at the end of Biesenthal Road and onto the highway. It took up the whole road and then some. And then over the years, new additions put on, like the showroom, the newer showroom at that time. I was looking at the hours on this sign the other night, and we used to be open Monday to Friday, 8:30 till 8.
It's a long day.
That's a long day, yep.
The very first time I met Pete was in the fall of 1978 when I was in grade 9. A buddy in my class who at that time, he raced for Pete Sales and Service. He was a motocross racer. He raced Suzuki RMs, and every year he would get a new RM 125 and 250. But we were walking to class and he says to me, "Where are you going?" I said, "Well, we got history class, we're going to there." He says, "Well, come on with me." He says, "We're going to go up and check out the motorbikes." So we went up to Pete's, and that was up at the shop, on Biesenthal Road. That's the first time I'd met him, and that was 78. Then in 93, when I was having my Katana 1100 serviced, I had to come in here and tell them what I wanted done to it. And I told them at the counter, and I was finished, and I was walking out, and I got back to my car, and Pete chased me down outside and asked me what I was doing. And I said, well, I'm just kind of laid off now for the winter. And he offered me a job on the spot. And at that time it was into parts. I started in the parts department. So after that, it was 15 years of being around these guys, and well, not Bryce. Yeah. Sorry, Bryce wasn't around yet. You couldn't get a nicer guy. You know, he had a heart of gold. He would do anything for you. He treated me like a son, almost, not quite, but you know, no, but he treated me like a son. When I went to buy my first house, he was right there offering me whatever I needed, you know. But that's the type of guy he was. Everybody knew that too, you know. He was just so honest and just a heart of gold, you know. And how was Pete as a grandfather?
Awesome.
Was he all right?
Yeah. I remember every time.
Got him on his arm.
Is that it? Oh yeah.
Yeah, every time coming in, and he's just always happy, always smiling. Reach into his pocket, give you a loonie or a toonie, and
To go to the store.
Get some licorice over there or something, and then.
Well, he always had to get him a black one, though. He liked those black cigars.
Oh, he did too. Yeah. Oof. I remember those. Yeah.
Pepsi.
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 Yeah.
I'd never seen him in this, so I got.
Oh, you've never seen him in this? No.
I don't think so.
No, probably not. You're too young then. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No, he got this suit. I believe this was, 1980 or 81, and Motoski had used Gilles Villeneuve as a spokesperson for their new model, which was the Ultrasonic, the big model for 1980. I guess it was the first year for the Ultrasonic. Anyway, this was the suit that Gilles, not this exact suit, but a leather suit like this one that Gilles would have worn when he was doing his speaking about the new model. So anyway, my dad had to have this suit, so he ordered one, and this suit was like, oh my God, like every year he had to have this suit on. Didn't matter. Motoski was long gone, and we were into the skidoos up until, I don't know, early 2000s. He was still wearing this suit. And we would bug him like, get rid of that thing. Like, it can't even be warm anymore. The insulation's like gone. It's packed down, like, But I remember we would go to the Eganville races, and he would be wearing this suit, proud as could be, And I remember we used to stand on the back straight at Eganville, and one year we were there, and this guy come running over, and he was like out of breath. He was like, "Oh, I'm so glad you didn't move." He said, "I was on the other side of the track and I saw you. I want to buy that suit." And so my buddy and I are like, "Sell it, like let it go." Nope, because he wants to buy it. Yeah. I'm gonna keep it. Oh my God. Gotta wear the gear because I don't bounce as good as I once did.
Todd still enjoys getting out on his dirt bike every once in a while, although he admits he doesn't get out as often as he'd like. Running a business does eat up a lot of your time. His son joins him the odd time, and of course, he's always got to one-up his dad, pulling bigger wheelies.
Beta started out as a motor company first. They were originally just building motors. They did build some for KTM. Actually, I think they still do, like the little 50s and stuff. That motor's a Beta built motor. Yeah, I took them on for to be able to have an offering, a two-stroke offering for our clientele, and it's just been a solid machine. I guess growing up in the business all my life, I was told someday this was going to be mine, and it never actually really hit home sorry.
I can hold this suit there for fun.
Until that day, when I had those big shoes to fill. And yeah, that was reality. I had no choice. I had nobody else to run the business, and I mean, the business must go on. You can't just close the doors and, you know, stay at home. So he was still here, you know. A couple of years, or I guess maybe that winter, so he passed away in 2012. That winter, or I can't remember if it was the following year, I remember coming into work one morning and unlocking the gate and looking back, and all I could see was those rows of yellow crates, and there was no snow on the ground, and this was already, like, it was after Christmas. Sorry, it was before Christmas. Because as I was opening up the gates, I remember in my head asking him for help. I think it was then shortly after, maybe near the end of December, it snowed, and it snowed, and it snowed, and we had a fantastic winter. We sold all the inventory. And that was my Christmas gift. Yeah.
Well, I came home for a month of from overseas visiting, and it just happened that the month I was home was when Pete passed. But I got in to see him about a week before he passed, and yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a son, but I mean, like, it was hard. Yeah, because he was just so much a part of everybody's life, you know. Like, and it's not like he pushed himself into that position. It's just you brought him into your orbit because he was so, you know, like, just such a great guy.
Easy to get along.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and
Always nice. Greeted everybody with a smile and helped anybody he could.
Bryce is following in the footsteps of his father, working at the family business. You'll find him at the service counter or working in the back, wrenching on a quad or a Sea-Doo. His passion lies in being out on the water, so he tries to focus as much of his attention to that part of the business.
I like working on Sea-Doos and boats. It's just, that's my passion. I love being on the water and the warm weather. I liked warm weather.
Yeah.
Really just...
Sleds too. You're an avid sledder. You like to go sledding.
Oh yeah, but the cold, you know, the cold gets...
Getting older now.
Yeah.
Feel it in the bones.
Oh, not too much. I mean, I definitely... We've switched positions a little, you know. I used to be a little bit... not always showing up to work on time and whatnot, and definitely changed roles a little now. I open up every morning and
yeah, it's pretty nice. I stay home and I get to do my ordering on the computer in the mornings and just kind of take my time, get ready to come to work. He opens up, he has the driveway all plowed in the wintertime. It's I'm very fortunate, very lucky.
I don't.
He's a good worker. Good work.
Barring that, we do have our little disputes. Sometimes I actually prove him wrong, so that's pretty cool to do. You know?
Yeah, and I'll agree to that. That is true.
Well, he wouldn't say that if it wasn't on camera. Just if we were like a model of a sled or something, and like a certain part, how it goes on.
Yeah.
And I've done it 10 more times than him.
Yep.
And he's arguing with me, and then I'd go and prove him right. I don't have a specific time, but there's definitely... Well, it could get a little heated sometimes. Not like too heated, but a jokingly matter, you know?
Yeah. We never dropped the gloves or anything like that.
No. Never had to stuff your head in a snowbank or nothing. So.
Not yet.
Yeah. No, we never got into her like that at all. But
I think for you, it was a big... you were nervous coming back into it because things have changed quite a bit.
That's right.
As far as now, everything being online and the way sales go with that and all the stuff that there is to keep up with. as far as with the manufacturers and
That's the thing is, you know, the customer coming in today compared to back then, they know more about the machine than you do probably, because they're studying it for hours and hours at home, that one machine. So they know all the specs, they know everything, and you know, a lot of times, like I say, they do know more than us, but we've got to know, you know, quite a bit of stuff, you know.
Manufacturers. What the internet did, I think, is it took a lot of the excitement out of the product. Because today, like, so back in the day, we would go to a new model announcement show, and we would come back with the books, and you'd be excited, and people would come into the store
just to see the book.
Yeah, to see what the new models are, and you could talk to them about all the features and stuff, and it was exciting, and it drove excitement in people. Today, when we go to a show, if we even go, because a lot of it is virtual, and while we're viewing the new product, so are you. So it really took that excitement, I think. I mean, don't get me wrong, people are still excited, but it's not the same as walking into the dealership to go find out what your new model is actually like. You know, you're viewing it online, and then you already know.
Anyways, being all online, it's taken something out of it, you know. But
it's really changed the business for sure. From, you know, back in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s for sure. But there is a lot of good that's come out of it as far as being able to research something and you know, find out details on things. There's not many businesses in this field anymore, I don't think, that are still family run. Like a lot of them now you see selling off to auto groups and stuff like that. It's kind of going that way. We like to kind of hang on as long as we can. We're still having fun at it, so why not, right? Like, if you love going to work every day, you're not really working, I think. How can you not love it when you're around all this stuff all the time, you know? I still really look forward to something new coming out of the crate and getting to check it out and just seeing how these companies now are, you know, producing such wicked machinery. Yeah, it's pretty cool to be able to be around that all day. I always like to say that we sell fun. And it's nice when you brighten somebody's day, I guess, you know, whether it be their vehicle is not running and bring it in and you make it run again and makes them happy, or they come in to purchase a new vehicle and they're happy when they go out with it, you know. So it's always nice that way.
A lot has changed over the years, but the excitement people have for power sports continues to grow. Pete's Sales and Service has been here for 50 years, serving the community. We wish them all the best and hope for another 50 years of this great family business here in the Ottawa Valley.
So that's the old boat, 1912 to this Mercury Mark 75.